The Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living and the Ministry of Dr. Moira Foxe presents Living Ideas.
And so here we are on this great good day, and what better thing could we be looking at than love as the splendid thing that it is. An amazing energy that you and I get to really focus and hone in on today. And so we're looking at this thing called love, not like the love as is depicted in the movies or in a love novel or in a love song or, you know, in a Hollywood magazine. We're looking at something bigger than that, larger than that, much more wondrous than that, magical and mystical than all of that. We're looking at the thing itself, love itself, that is whole and full and embodied with an essence and a power that's ineffable, mysterious, indescribable, and yet something that you and I are called to unraveling, the mystery of this thing called love. Love in its purity, love in its essence is too big, it's too huge to be contained by all of these things, although all of these things may be in it. It is much more than that. Why so? Why is it this large thing? Well, perhaps it's because that love is the essential, seminal name for the Almighty, for the originator of everything, for the creator of all life. That's its true name. Love, unconditioned and unconditional. Awesome and powerful and amazing, and always a blessing, always a blessing, always a blessing, this thing called love with capitals, as we endeavor to know it and to embrace it. And here's the biggest kicker of all. That love, in all of its entirety, with all of its power, is in the center core of your being, and mine too, available to me, available to you. A force, an energy, a power that you can draw from at any time, whether in good times, bad times, or in different times. That love, that power, that essence is there for you to draw from and to use along the line of its own nature, to use for good, to use as a blessing, and to bring as a consequence of that a great energy and upliftment into your own life and into all life too. That's what's available to you, and that's what's present in you right now, regardless of how you might be feeling, or what you might be thinking, or what you have been doing. Nevertheless, that in its entirety is present to you because for some reason or another the divine chose this as its dwelling place, which is a mystery in and of itself. And there is the indwelling of love, which is light and which is life, and every good thing that you can think of and imagine, and it's present in you now, available to you now. That's what we're celebrating in this moment. That's what we're celebrating in this week, especially, and that's what we get to celebrate every moment of our existence right throughout eternity, if we so desire. But where does the unraveling of this mystery begin? Where everything begins. Within ourselves, within me, within you. It's the only place it can begin. And it's given to you and it's given to me to embark upon that adventure of discovery, of revelation. Because love is not something that I'm going to find or that I'm going to make. I cannot make love. I cannot find love. I am love. Go figure. I am love. Its essence is what is composing me. It's what I'm made up of and from. And there's where I have to start the journey of adventure within myself so that I can unravel that truth that sets me free to be the truth of who and what I am. And it begins with a deep, deep desire to want to get on the inside of love, to want to experience the truth of my being and my real identity, to want to unleash what is within me so that I can be that conscious, willing, eager, keen outlet to the love that fills me and wants me to be its outlet, but needs my cooperation to be that which outflows from me. That's how neat a power and a presence that I am. Not of myself at all, God knows, but because of that which indwells me, the essence and the core of my being. When I am being my best self, I can only be my best self when I am conscious that I am in love. And to be in love is the sweetest of things. And I'm not talking about what you might be thinking. To be in love is to understand that love is within me, love is around me, love is about me, love is above me, love is below me. Love is all there is only love. Why? Because God is all there is only God. That's why. And love is the name of the Almighty. Love is the name of divinity. Love is the name of truth, of beauty, of grace, of goodness, of kindness, of understanding, of compassion, of wisdom. Love. That's the energy of life, the energy of living. Love is all there is. And it is now available in all of its fullness to you. And love is that. The only thing is love that will mend and fix and heal whatever needs it. And if I am challenged, all I have to do is love more so that I can be released from the challenge as soon as possible. No matter what's going on with me, no matter what the craziness is, no matter what the disturbance is, love and only love is always the answer. Be who you are is the answer to all of your challenge. Show up as your true identity. Love that will take care of all of your challenges, and it sounds too good to be true. Or it sounds a bit too trippy, or it sounds a bit too whatever. And yet, that's the truth. And it is the truth that sets us free. And don't knock it until you have tried it. And don't poo-poo it until you have tried it. Remember, you are your own laboratory. You are your own life's laboratory. And within your mind, within your heart, and within your soul, you test things out. And you don't take anybody's word for it. You test it out. Put it to the test, the scripture says. Put me to the test and see if I will not open the floodgates of heaven and shower you with so many blessings that you will not have room to receive those blessings. But before that it says, bring me your tithes. Bring me your tithes. What in heaven's name does that mean? Do I have to bring all my money and say, here, Reverend Moira, there's all my money. Put it to good use. No. My tithe has to do with everything that my life is. It has to do with my talent, and it has to do with my time as well as my treasure. Bring me your tithe. In other words, put into the pot of life. Put into the pot of life and see if life will not bring back to you what you have put in, pressed down and spilling over. You are the givingness of life back unto itself, because that's what love is. Love is always pouring itself out and giving itself away with grace, with ease, in celebration, in joy, delighted to give and give and give and then again give, for love is the great blessing. And oh, so many of us have been so blessed to experience love in our lives. We have that significant few people in our lives, our families and our friends, our dear friends and spouses, with whom we have intimate, close relationships. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and it all helps to keep us going and be the people that we are. That love that blesses us, that love that supports us, that love is on our side, that love is cheering us on. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing, but it's not enough. The invitation in the scriptures, the great scriptures say, love as I have loved. No problem loving my family and my friends and my dear ones and the spouses and all of that. No problem at all. Oh yeah, they get on my nerves sometimes, but that doesn't mean I don't love them. Just because they get on my nerves, I don't withhold my love. I don't say I'm never loving you again because you've peed me off just now. No, 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 that love is there. You know, you'd stand in front of them and save them from whatever because you love them. And you know who they are, and that's why you love them. You know who they are. And yet, is there anyone here amongst us that doesn't have trouble sometimes going beyond that circle to the wide community? To love all of humanity, that's the call. Love all of humanity, all of life, and all of creation. Because you can, you get to do it. Not because you have to, because you want to, and because you get to do it. And you see, there's where you move on into a realization and an experience of love unconditioned and unconditional. Love unconditioned and unconditional is only what can love all of humanity, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And that's what we're called to. We are called, be you perfect, as your heavenly creator, source, Father is perfect. The invitation wouldn't be issued if it wasn't possible. If it wasn't great things have I done, said the Master Lover Jesus, but greater things can you do than I have done. Once you go beyond your own safe circle of love, out into the wider perimeters of the unknown, the mysterious, loving as we have been first loved, unconditioned and unconditionally, because we can, because it's our nature, because it's given to us the ability to do that. You see, we have to go beyond thinking of love as an object out there to be aimed at. As an object. Love is not an object, it's a faculty. And a faculty is an innate power, an innate essence that's natural to us. That's what we are. It's our essence, our truth, our identity. Love, love, love. Oh, my dear ones, how do we use the blessings that we are given? How do we respond to the blessings that are given? Do we sit on them? Do we hoard them? Do we withhold them? Or do we give them back? Do we give them back? Do we share them? Do we spread them? Oh, love is such a splendid thing. Go to splendid or splendor in the dictionary. What is the root of it? It's a Latin word. It's a Latin word, splendere, which means shine, which means it's full of light. It's light itself. Love shines, and it's supposed to shine through you. If not through you, how the heck is love going to be experienced by anything or anyone? How am I going to know I'm loved if you don't love me? How is somebody else going to know they're loved if I don't love them? Because I am the representation of the creator of my being. I am his image, I am his likeness. I'm supposed to love as it loves. I remember the little song that I learned when I was very small, like a little tyke in kindergarten. Love one another. Call all people your brother. Come to me. Learn to love pass it on, pass it on. And it was all about passing it on. And the bells agree with me. The bells, they agree with me. Angelic music accompanies us as we move through this experience together of love. You see, it's a song in our hearts, love is. It's a dance in our feet, love is. It's the light in our eyes, love is. Oh, and how does it show up? Because love is felt in the cockles of our hearts and in the very chamber of our souls, and it's going to surprise us and bubble up in spite of us at times. How does it show up? It shows up as a splendid thing in the woman who's down to our last $5 in our budget. She's dying for a cigarette. She can buy a cigarette with those last $5 that she has. She's on her way to the store to buy that packet of cigarettes to satisfy the craving. But she sees to the side of the store a woman who's in dire straits, and she is homeless. Cigarettes, cigarettes, and she goes and she gives that last $5 to that woman who's in dire straits. Now that's a splendid thing. It's the little small boy who sees bigger boys bullying a dog and treating a little dog not very nicely and charges at them, and they run away. And that's a splendid thing. He doesn't think about himself, or those boys are bigger than I am. He sees that little dog needs help, and there he is to the rescue. It shows up in the father who is happy to, delighted to, without complaint ever, to work 3 jobs so that he can send his children to a better school. It shows up in the policeman before Christmas, this Christmas, who's out on his beat, and he sees a man who is sorely down in his luck, a homeless man. He's not only hungry, he's very cold, and he has no shoes on his feet. That policeman goes to the first shoe store he can find. He buys a pair of shoes, he gets some food, he comes back to that man. He gives the food to the man, and he gets down on his hands and knees, and he puts those shoes on that man's feet. And he has done something to make that man's life a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more bearable. Now that's a splendid thing. It shows up in the widow in the scripture story who gives away her very last penny. Gives away her very last penny, not counting the cost. And it shows up in you when everybody around you is doing what is wrong and you are not. It shows up in you when your whole inkling is to be self-righteous, and instead you offer understanding and compassion. It shows up in you every time you overcome an inkling in yourself to go that way when you know this is the right way to go, and you go there. It shows up in you every time your heart is moved and your hands are moved to outreach, to uplift another. It shows up in you when you really, for the first time in a long time, have managed to plan a day for yourself that's a relaxation day, that's a day of fun. And just as you're ready to get out into that, the phone rings and somebody needs your help. And you go help. And no fun day of that kind anyway. Yes, love is a many splendid thing, but it's nothing if it doesn't show up in you and in me. As the scripture says, it doesn't matter what great good things you do. It doesn't matter if you have the sweetest of velvet tongues. It doesn't matter if you offer yourself up to be burned and you have not love. You are nothing, no thing, love. And it is the wherewithal that every single one of us has. And it never is depleted. And we're never without it. And when you and I know that we have the wherewithal of love, and that it is the answer to everything, you and I can never, ever be limited or deficient in anything again, ever, ever. Because we know who we are and what we have to give and to contribute. Oh, my dear ones, this week is all about remembering that. Going out into that world this week and making every single person your Valentine. Not just the few significant people in your life, but every single person you meet is your Valentine. That person is the identification, the expression of life itself, of God itself. And it's up to you and it's up to me to greet that person as though they are indeed divinity itself. They are the divine. They are the lover of our beings. That's what love, unconditioned and unconditional. Agape love, as the Greeks call it. Unconditioned and unconditional love. And it's yours. Scriptures say, what is love? Love is gentle. Love is kind. Love is never boastful or proud. And love never takes advantage. It never brags or it never celebrates somebody getting their comeuppance. Never. But it always rejoices in mercy and in justice. Love is enduring. It endures all. Love is for always. Oh, three great things will always remain. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these things is love. And that's your M.O. That's your true identity. That's who you are. It's what you are. And I'm inviting us all on the part of Spirit, not my doing it all, Spirit coming through us all, wanting us to be commissioned to go out there from this very moment and be that splendid thing and shine and allow that love to shine through however it chooses to, however it wishes to. Love extends the invitation every day. Choose this day the blessing and not the curse. Choose this day the blessing and not the curse, because it's given to us to go either way. We can hoard the blessing or we can share the blessing. I am knowing for each and every one of us that we just are getting so giddy with delight now that we can't wait to get out there and make everybody our Valentine, not just for a week, but for the rest of our days, our eternal days. Everybody to be greeted and met like the Valentine that they are in truth. Because how else are you going to show your love for your Creator? How do you think we get to show love for our Creator? Only one way. By being loved wherever we are. And by loving the way that we have first been loved. And to love as Spirit loves. Because we can. And because we get to. Not have to. We get to. So I invite you all, my dear ones, to join me in this great adventure of unraveling the mystery of the light of love that is brilliant within us, and to reveal it as best we can every moment of every day for the rest of our lives. No pressure. Are we on? Yes. And so it is.